went to the post office this morning, dropped off some stuff that's sold overnight. And there's a Target close to the post office. So I told my husband I'm going to the Target. You know, a lot of times I just go to Walmart, but I went to Target because I needed to get a few things. And I get into Target and they do not have like 2 things that I needed. So I'm thinking, if I get part of my list but I still have to go to another store, what's the point? So I put the cart up, leave the store, jump back in the car, and I go to Walmart. And I needed some more instant potatoes. Let's see, water. I needed some more margarine. I'm trying to do less margarine, but the house needs margarine. Dr. Pepper, turtles, and grapes. And I usually don't get my produce from Walmart, but I did today. And there's just still some things I don't get from Walmart, but they had everything that I needed today. So, yay, Walmart. And what I'm thinking about doing today is I have a recipe for applesauce, an applesauce loaf, and I'm going to do it for high altitude. And instead of doing a big, like 8-inch or 9-inch loaf, I'm going to do the little small. I'm going to use some small loaf pans. This and maybe a muffin tin. And this one right here, my daughter gave me, so I think I'll use this one. And maybe a small, whatever will fit. We'll see how it works out. But that's the plan for today. Let me put these groceries away. Alright y'all, this applesauce bread has no eggs, no milk, and no butter. And I've already measured out my sugar and my flours. And we're just going to get going. Oh, also I turned my oven on to 375, and I've already prepared my pan with some a little bit of margarine and parchment paper in the bottom so it can come out without a problem. And let's get started. I'm going to first mix my, well, I can actually mix, I don't even have to get this more than one bowl messy. Let's see. Because I'm going to mix my dry ingredients and my wet and then combine. So let's do this. So we have 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour and 1/2 cup of whole wheat flour. And because I'm using an applesauce that is not unsweetened, there's some sugar in here, I'm going to use 3/4 cups of sugar instead of a cup of sugar. If it was unsweetened, I would use a cup. So let's just combine this. Let's pour the sugar into the flour. This is a kind of a small bowl. I'm just going to lightly mix it. Show you what it looks like. And so I did the flour, did the sugar, and then our other dry ingredients. We have 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. And I want to talk to you about cinnamon. 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So you probably have already heard, and if you haven't, about the cinnamon recall, which is crazy out there. They're saying that a lot of the brands, a lot of these big brands have they're contaminated with lead. And there's so much lead in it. It's like there's more lead in it than you're supposed to have in an entire day. And I wrote down a list of the ones that are deemed not safe. And so there's Paris, or PARAS, EGN, Mimi's, Bowl and Basket, Ronnie, Zara, Three Rivers, Yu Yi, Bai Lai Fing, Spicy King, Badia, or Badia, I don't know how you pronounce that, and Deep. Like, they're trying to wipe us out, y'all. Like, come on now. With the cinnamon. And these are 4 brands that are deemed the safest. And so I'm going to give you that list, but then everything else kind of falls in the middle. It's not unsafe, but then it's not considered the safest. So the safest, based on their testing: 365 Whole Food Market, Louisa, Morton and Bassett, and Sadaf, or Sadaf, SADAF. Those are considered to be the safest. So, my goodness, like, you know, I know back in the day, you know, depending on where you know, live, they would always, you know, put out these things about, you know, lead paint, and, you know, to not let your, you know, kids, you know, mess with lead chips and things like that if, you know, you were living in an old building. But it doesn't matter if they're going to, you know, not produce food in a safe and healthy way. So, you know, God be with us. You know, I pray over everything, you know, because you just don't know, like, things are coming from every direction, actually. So God has to keep you safe in this world. So let's move on to our wet ingredients. So you could do a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil or melted margarine. I tend to, depending on what the recipe is, I tend to use melted butter or margarine, but I'm going to do vegetable oil because, like I said, this recipe has no eggs, no milk, and no butter. So we need a 1/4 cup, and I don't feel like getting my liquid measuring cup, so I'm just going to use this one, and it'll work out. So 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. 1½ tablespoons of vinegar. Now you can use white vinegar or apple cider vinegar. Today, this is what I'm using. I probably should have measured this out first. This thing's heavy. Okay, where's my half? I probably should use my right hand to hold this. So like this. Okay. So I got the vinegar, I have the oil, and oh, our vanilla. Cannot forget the vanilla. Where's my 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And let's see, I think we're, yeah, okay, a 1/4 cup of water or almond milk. And I'm pretty much the only person in the house that drinks almond milk, and I'm getting towards the end of when it's time to get rid of this, so I'm trying to put it in everything, my cereal, just, you know, so I don't have to throw it out. And well, since I did 3/4 cups of sugar and this is sweetened, I'm going to do 3/4 cups of this applesauce because it is sweetened. If it was unsweetened, I would do 1 cup. And I'm going to So I can't find my, well, I could do 3 of these, but I'm going to do my 1 cup and just not fill it up all the way. All of our wet, and I just want to look at this recipe one more time to make sure I did not leave anything out. I got the flour, the sugar, the cinnamon, baking soda, baking powder, the salt, vegetable oil, the vinegar, applesauce, and almond milk. Okay, so I'm just going to mix this a little bit. Let's close this applesauce. And then add in dry ingredients. It's a little thick, so I don't know. I don't know if I like that, because I'm trying to think. I don't think it was this thick the last time that I did it. So what I think I may do to loosen it up a little bit, let me show you. It's a little thick. I mean, it's okay. You could go with it like this. I just add a little bit more almond milk. Let's see. Just I want it a little bit looser. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, I like that. Okay. So I'm just going to, I think because I'm using this little pan versus my big one, I'm going to just do maybe 6 muffins. And you can spray your pan or line it. Let's just see, because I'm trying to gauge how much batter I might have left. Or I might just need to fill up the muffins first, because the kids have been asking for muffins. And I'm going to use my 1/4 cup or 1/4 cup measuring cup to just scoop out the batter. Okay. And that could have been a little bit less than 1/4 cup. Because I don't want it to be too full. Yeah, I think 6 will be it. Now, with whatever batter I have left, I don't know how big my bread is going to get in that loaf pan, because I'm putting some in here. But like I said, the kids wanted some muffins. You know, they like the banana bread, but they've been asking for muffins. And I think the next thing I'll do, because they like my apple muffins, and I do have some apples, I'll do that. And I think these, you can put these muffins in the oven for about 18 minutes. But because I'm high altitude, I'm going to watch to see. I'll turn on the oven light and watch to make sure they, you know, don't burn. So I'm actually going to just put this in the oven now. And I know some bakers, to get even baking, they fill these up with water. Right now I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put it in there, hope for the best. And I'm going to put my timer on 15, just so that, you know, to remind myself to check it. Okay. So now I'm going to fill up this. Let me get all of, I need all this dough, because since I split it, in between. All right. This is gonna be a little loaf cake, y'all. I don't know. I should have maybe just went with the muffins. I mean, it's fine. It smells really good too. My goodness. And because I haven't eaten today and it's almost noon. And I exercised quite a bit yesterday, so my appetite is like kicking in. Like seriously. Okay. I like to bake. Baking usually relaxes me. You know, especially, you know, if everything goes well. If it goes well, it's great. And I don't know if you all like to bake, and if it's relaxing or not. I talked to my daughter Taylor, and she was saying that, you know, sometimes cooking stresses her out. So I'm going to, that's about how much I got in there. So yeah, I mean, but it'll still be good, and hopefully it'll rise. And I'm going to put this in the oven. I might check it at 35-40 minutes, you know, just to see what, you know, what it looks like. And I think as long as a toothpick goes in and comes out clean, it's ready. But I usually look at it and gauge by the look of it. Okay, y'all, so the muffins are out, and I'm happy with them. My hands are clean. The bread has been in the oven for about 20 minutes. So these took about 20 minutes. And I could have left them in there a little longer to get a little bit more brown, but I think I'm happy with them as they are. So I'm going to give the bread probably another 20 minutes, but I'm looking in on it every 10 minutes just to see, especially because it's a little bit smaller than the other one. It may not, I'm assuming it won't take as long to bake as the other one. Even with my last bread, it could have been taken out at about 50 minutes. I didn't have to leave it in there for an hour. So take one of these little teeny tiny ones and just taste. I'm not allowing it to cool, so, but it is hot. It's hot, hot, hot. Okay. I do like it. It is not too sweet, so it's good for me, but I'm thinking one of my kids might say, it's not sweet enough, but I like it. And the cinnamon is not overpowering. It's pretty good. I think the flavors came together well. You can see, dropping crumbs. But it's moist and it's simple. It's not complicated, and you can see they did rise. without self-rising flour. Like I said, the salt, the baking powder, the baking soda, you know, those things help it to rise. But it is moist without eggs, and of course there's no butter and there's no milk. So it's a pretty good little muffin. I think the crumb is good. All I need now is a cup of tea, and I'm set. But I'll come back once the bread is out of the oven. Alright, y'all, it is out of the oven, and I don't know if you can tell, but it did rise. It's a little tiny, but you can see that it is browned around the edges, which that's what I'm looking for, and it feels great. It smells great. And if it tastes as good as those muffins, we are set. I want to thank you for spending this time with me today, and if you try this recipe, let me know how it turns out. Until next time, be sweet, be grateful, and stay optimistic. Bye.